What do I need to understand about your earliest years to understand
Mhm.
who you are?
Oh boy. Um, yeah, my earliest years, I'm just stubborn, man. I just never give up. I mean, there's no world where I ever would have quit. I mean, if we're just jumping right into it, it's a great no intro or anything, just boom. That's how you hold people. When I was 11, I just said I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I'm gonna die trying, and I meant it. And there was like, even if no one still watches my videos to this day, I would still be going. And so people hate it, but I'm just the most competitive, stubborn person you'll ever meet, and I just never give up.
And where did that come from?
I have no idea, to be honest. Honestly, it feels like it was just in my DNA and my bloodstream. My mom hated it growing up. We'd always argue and like, she has this thing where like once Jimmy sets his mind to something, he just never stops. And it would always piss her off because when it was YouTube and she wanted me to be studying or things like that. But I really don't know. It's just always been how I am. And I think a lot of people have these weird tendencies and they tend to like try to like unlearn them. And like I had phases in my life where I was like, am I too extreme? Like people are very intimidated by me because I just am so obsessed with work and I'm so all in. And like, is this like unhealthy? Should I try to be more like a normal human? And especially when I was a teenager, it's a lot easier. It's funny when you're making lots of money, it's like admirable, it's respectable. It's like, look, those are traits we want. But when you're not successful, you're a lunatic when you have all these traits. And so back then, I'd occasionally be like, man, like, should I try to be more normal? But I just could never do it. Anytime I tried to, I mean, I've mentioned this before, but one of the like things that like I have a memory of that like really is burned in my brain is like people one time like a high schooler told me when I was in middle school, like all you do is talk about YouTube. Like, do you like know how to do anything else? Like you're just like a freak. And I tried to like watch South Park, because that's what a lot of people in my school watch to fit in. And I just couldn't. I was like, this is such a waste of time. I don't like I could be working right now. And I tried to do all these things to like fit in. And I eventually just like stopped talking because I just didn't relate to anyone. And people used to call me mute. Like one of my teachers literally asked like if I was mute. Like, because that's how little I spoke because no one in the school I went to was entrepreneurial or wanted to build businesses. And I just didn't want to do anything else. And yeah, eventually I started to succeed, found other lunatics, and now life's great. But I like to tell this story when I'm on podcasts because if you have a younger viewer who's in that same spot, you're not the problem. It's your environment, and you just gotta put yourself in a better environment.
What about your parents, mum and dad? You talk about your mother a lot.
Yeah. Um. No, I don't. I didn't get it from them.
What influence did they both have on you?
Um. Well, I don't really talk about my dad much. That's a long story. Don't need to get into it. But my mom, honestly, it's great now. Me and my mom have a phenomenal relationship, but on the come up it was pretty rough because in 2008 they were over leveraged, so we literally went bankrupt. And so they had properties that they used to get other properties, and then when everything collapsed they lost basically everything. And so my mom was working two jobs and barely getting by. And so I didn't see her that much because when I was coming home from school she was doing her second job. So it was a lot because she was the single mom raising us. She's working all the time. My I don't talk about a lot of this. I have Crohn's disease, so I was very sick growing up. My brother also had issues as well. And so, we're not the healthiest kids in our teenage year. She's just trying to get by and take care of us. And then, she comes home and she just has this brat that's being annoying and like, I want to be a YouTuber. And she's just begging me. Sometimes she would literally cry and beg me to do homework. And I mean, I was like, I didn't mean it in a mean way, but I mean, I even one time I literally told her, if you want my homework done so bad, why don't you just do it? Like that's what I told my mom. Like, what am I doing? I don't know. Like, I was just like, I don't care. Like, I just want to be successful. I want to build businesses. And so it was like, bless her heart. Luckily it worked out. So now I spoil her. She's great. She has her second home. Anything she could ever want, she has. And so the first thing I did was start paying my mom, take care of her once I started making money because she gave everything to like get me where I am. And I wouldn't be where I am now, but it was like me and her spoke different languages when I was younger. She didn't want me to end up like them, and get screwed and not have much money. And like the path I was going down was just basically like, oh, I'm gonna be a homeless drug addict. And like her brain couldn't compute the world I saw, and my brain couldn't compute the world she saw, and it was constant friction.
Who was looking after you then? If she was busy working and you were at home and your dad's not around, who
Yeah.
takes care of you?
Uh, I just me and my brother, we were just there. I was just making videos.
You're making videos.
Yeah.
What age did that start, the videos?
I started at 11.
11.
Yeah. So I'm 26 now. I can't really remember life before YouTube. Like my earliest memories are basically when I started making videos.
You said earlier you don't talk about your dad much.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me about it, but why don't you talk about your father much?
Ah, don't worry about it.